You want her to regret losing you. Good, that means you're done begging, you're done chasing. You're finished proving your worth to someone who couldn't see it. And ironically, that's exactly when everything starts to shift. Most men get this wrong. They believe making her miss them means proving how much they care. Sending emotional texts, calling at night just to say they still think about her. Hoping, if they show enough love, maybe she'll come back. But here's the truth. Women don't regret losing men who wait. They regret losing men who evolve. She won't regret it because you told her how much she meant. She'll regret it when she sees who you became without her. When the attention she once took for granted now belongs to someone else. When she sees you focused, rising, untouchable, that's when she says, "Damn, I messed up." Here's what most men don't realize. Women don't chase validation. They chase value. When you become a man of value, everything shifts. She won't remember every sweet word, but she will feel the power you now carry, the calm in your silence, the strength in your absence. Let me ask, have you ever gone quiet after things ended and suddenly she reached out? Maybe a random text, maybe a like on your story, a casual "how have you been?" That's not random, that's biology. That's psychology. When you remove your energy, she feels it, and nature hates a vacuum. But here's the key, you can't fake this. You can't pretend to move on just to get a reaction. She'll feel the neediness in your silence, and it will push her away even more. But if your silence is real, if it's backed by change, if you're truly building, truly moving forward, she spirals. She checks your page, she replays memories, she stalks your story at 2 a.m., wondering who you're with, where you've been, and why you stopped chasing. Because every woman has one deep fear, being forgotten, being replaced, and if you made her feel safe, desired, unique, and now that presence is gone, that absence becomes a mirror. In that mirror, she starts to ask, was I enough? Did I let go of something real? That's masculine presence. But even more powerful, masculine absence. Neil Strauss once wrote about social proof, how women are drawn to men other women desire. But the ultimate social proof, detachment, when you're locked into your mission, when your evolution makes you unavailable, that's when her instincts kick in. Mystery triggers obsession, certainty kills it. A man who's always there, he's safe but forgettable. A man who's growing, silent, unexplainable, he's unforgettable. And here's the deeper part, regret isn't always loud. She won't always message you, but she'll feel it when that song comes on, when she walks by the place you laughed. When she's with a new guy and something's just missing, that's when it hits. The realization she can't undo. But you're not chasing that moment anymore, because now you're becoming the man she never deserved to keep. And as you detach, something incredible happens. Other women feel the shift. You're no longer reactive. You're selective. You're not emotionally available to just anyone. And that energy, it's magnetic. Women want a man who doesn't need them. A man who's whole on his own. So if she left you broken, good. Let that be your awakening. Transform from the pain. Fuel your growth. Channel that emptiness into the gym, your hustle, your purpose. Let your silence grow louder. Not because you want her to notice, but because you're too focused to care. And when you stop chasing not from pride, but from purpose, she'll chase what she once took for granted. But by then it might be too late, because now something deeper begins. You don't just spark her regret, you become magnetic to all women. Not because you're trying, but because you've tapped into the rarest energy. Grounded masculine energy. It's not arrogance, it's certainty. It's how you walk into a room, no need for attention. How you speak slowly. Stand taller, listen more than you talk. Your presence says, I know who I am. And suddenly, she remembers the man you were becoming, the one she walked away from. She compares you to what she's found since. Men who chase, men who perform, men who lack depth, and you. You've become the contrast that haunts her. Because here's another truth women rarely regret right away. They justify, they go out, they post the highlights, maybe see someone new, but that excitement fades. The silence creeps in and then you return not in reality, but in her memory, sharper, stronger, more desirable than ever. Not because of anything you said, but because of who you've become. See, Women fall for mystery, for men they couldn't fully figure out. You want to create regret, stop being predictable, stop being the nice guy, hoping she'll love you back. Nice is safe, but safe doesn't stir a woman's soul. Evolving in silence does, disappearing not to punish but to level up. That's what haunts her. Regret builds in stages. She wonders. She notices your absence. Curiosity turns into obsession. She checks your stories. She asks, why doesn't he care? And the worst part, she no longer has control. Before, one message got your attention. Now, nothing, no response, no reaction, because you're no longer that man. And that's the most painful part, not just losing you, but losing the version of herself that once had access to you. Now someone else is laughing with you, touching you, seeing your eyes when you're locked in, and that burns, but your focus isn't on proving anything anymore. It's on your purpose, on the world you're building, a world where she's not the prize. Your mission is, and when a man leaves from mission, he's unshakable. That's what women sense, that's what they crave. Because a man who doesn't need love is the one they want to love them. If she left you shattered, good. That's where real transformation starts. While she was healing with distractions, you healed with discipline, with discomfort, with evolution, and now you've become what most men pretend to be. You've earned what others try to fake. This isn't about revenge. You're not doing this to hurt her. You're doing this because you finally get it. You never had to beg for what you bring. You bring depth, presence, calm masculine energy, and when that disappears, it sticks in her memory. You're not the guy she used to text. You're the man she'll never replace, because you didn't get louder. You got stronger, you didn't flex, you refined. You didn't run from the pain, you used it, you stopped performing. And you started becoming. You see, most guys just pretend they're over her, but deep down they're waiting. Still hoping, still emotionally handcuffed to the past. But you faced the mirror, you took the hit. And you leveled up, and that version of you, she can't access him, not ever again. Now she's left wondering, who's he with? Does she laugh like I did? Does she know what it cost me to lose him? But she won't say this out loud. She'll post more, smile bigger, pretend she's thriving, but deep down, she knows she overplayed her hand. While she waited for one more chase, you were building a life too powerful to turn back. Let's be clear, regret isn't revenge. It's clarity. You now understand. You're not here to beg for space at anyone's table. You are the table. And that realization, it's liberating. You don't react. You don't fantasize. You build, you evolve. You lead, and she feels it, even from a distance, even in silence. The version of you she left behind is gone. And now she's blocked from your energy, and that drives her mad, because a woman can only control what she can feel. And you're emotionally invisible now. That's true power. You stopped playing the role she wrote for you. You're not the guy she could message at 2 a.m. You're the man who chose himself, and nothing commands more regret than that. Now she romanticizes the past, not because it was perfect, but because it was hers, and now it's not. Maybe you haven't met the next woman yet. Maybe you're still deep in your grind, but she knows. Men like you don't stay single for long. You've built gravity. She no longer orbits your world because you built your own solar system, and now all she can do is watch. She might test the waters, a like, a comment. She might show up where you are. But she won't admit why, because she knows she no longer has access. And by the time she realizes who you really were, you've already moved on. Not out of spite, but out of growth, out of alignment. You were the upgrade, you were the rare one. You were the man in progress, not the man in need. And now that you've arrived, she'll never touch that version again. Because silence screams and your absence, it rewrote her story. She didn't just lose you. She lost the chance to grow beside you. And she knows it, but you don't need her to say it. You don't need closure, because you gave it to yourself. Now you walk with intent. You choose wisely. You lead. You don't chase women. You create legacy, and she'll never forget that.